All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
love honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. For the brothers here in Demon Temple Bay, coming to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai to do what we've been called and raised up to do, which is to prophesy. And going to, like I said, the book of Ezekiel, to the sound of battle in the land, right? And the folk on this earth, you have uproars, you have things going on, referring to, especially going to the Middle East, the noise going on over there, which is a spiritual hotspot because that's pretty much the place where this place is going to go down. Going into Yahweh Shabbat, Lord's judgment, Jehoshaphat, the Middle East region, these nations are going to be gathered up, to fight. And you go into the spirit, that's, we go into the spirit of the rulers. You got Vladimir Putin, these rulers of these big nations with military power. Well, look what's going on in the land of so-called Israel. Netanyahu, the spirit of the Lord is really on that dude because he's causing all this chaos, just by, what he's doing right now, and, that's why it goes into, at least release himself, draw him out, because he's going around poking everybody, waiting for reaction. This is what ultimately the Lord wants. Maybe they at least have some agenda in their mind, which is the NWO. All right, they want to chip everybody, mass chipping, social credit system, total control, true, was it the dystopian reality, the stuff that you watch on these movies where you say that never happened in so-called America. Well, we're in a time of war, and that's when that's when that happens. So going to which one started Isaiah 95 about how quick things are gonna escalate, because these things that are happening on earth is not to be ignored because it's all leading to the destruction of so-called America, being Babylon the Great, and the technology the Lord is going to use for these nations to go out, especially going to so-called America, is done with missiles. So I'll probably grab that in Jeremiah. We'll open up his arsenal, his armory, I think, But I will read Isaiah 95 real quick.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5.
The third world coming quickly.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Yeah, so for a very long time, warfare was fought conventionally with swords, shields, helmets. Eventually they started using bows and arrows, some kind of propulsion system, the light, they had what them called cannons, they'll, I don't know the projectile name, but if you go into a siege, they take down the walls, they use, barricades, but ultimately again, going to the point of ancient warfare, it was very, very familiar until a certain point of time where you go into now, these nations have missiles, you had, of course, from the sword, you have the gun, and then the arrows, bows and arrows, you have missiles now, and going to this, what's referring to this is that third world, because, going to some of the articles speaking about before, the class got rolling, is going to U.S. military itself, at least 70% of, the military is out of shape, and that's going to be a very big problem, especially going to all these conflicts that so-called America is juggling, because they don't have any military readiness. They don't have ultimately an army to fight. They are, trivialized as the greatest and strongest army in the world, which at a point in time they are, and they still kind of are. But that like any other kingdom, eventually it wears out. Complacency. No innovation. And these tactics that this country is using is not new. It's going back to the ancient Roman Empire. Which it didn't work. The economy is a sign that the kingdom is going down. What is so-called America's economy pushing? It doesn't have an economy. It doesn't have a real economy. All it does is print money and goes around and does military campaigns, and that's coming to an end because why? You can't bully the world no more. You can't go around pillaging and push people around because why? Because these nations with weak saying I'm strong, But again, if you go into someone grab that about common costs, because you're going to the point of what these military generals are coming into realization is that they can't do traditional warfare no more. Okay, you can't have a standing army. Okay, you can't have men jumping out of planes and coming from the sea because why? Because these military men are not ready to fight. It is 70% of your military is out of shape. They're not ready to battle. So here it is, say an invasion happens, say some kind of, big event happened, well, who are you going to deploy? Because again, going to the point that, these nations that they're moving, and they're not playing around no more. They're not scared of so-called America. So what is America's response going to be? They're going to have to use nuclear missiles, because you look at the last time America won a war, a while ago, World War II. Vietnam was an embarrassment, because any drawn out war, America's lost. The only time they won a war is when they were short, they were coming at the end. World War I, World War II, they pop up and then become a hero. It's not gonna work no more, So this drawn out long stretch of battle that America's been doing in Iraq, Afghanistan, where's it got them? Nowhere. So what are they gonna have to do? Going into using these missiles to get the point across, because again, they don't have that much time. They don't have that much time to make a move, but someone get that, count the cost real quick.
Luke chapter 14, verse 28. For which of you intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily, after he have laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him.
Yep, and of course, Yahushua is making an example about men that's not enduring, all right, the good fight, building, meaning you come up into the truth, you start building, you start edifying, you start teaching, and eventually, you wear out because you didn't have enough supplies, you didn't have enough in you to finish your project, which is, of course, those who endure to the end. But, this whole race being a marathon, you thought it was a sprint, So again, those that seen you start to build, you had this big project, had this big old plan, I'm gonna build this tower here in this land, a wise man say, why are you going over there? There's nothing, goes into the herb about building on sand, that's not a good ground to build on, So yeah, the foundation got laid, it's getting built up, but eventually comes to a point where the project is discontinued because the whole time it was never a good idea in the first place. You didn't have the things needed to finish that building, that tower, and going to it, they're making an example about war, which is going to go into it, which Yahushua again is making a parable that, you have to make sure that you have enough, all right, to overcome, because if you don't, then you're going to lose. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy and resources. Because why? Because the whole thing about fighting is to win. You go to war to win. You don't go to war to lose. So going to the mindset of these kings now, these rulers, and Muslims, but whenever they have a point, they're in the mind. They're at the point now where what's on the table is nuclear missiles. What is going to have us to overcome these so-called Americans, these so-called Israelis, and their allies, and eventually the tunes and the chains. The issue is so-called American Israel, the Israelis, and what they're going to do? They're going to shoot missiles at them. So what's left on the table is to use missiles. These proxy wars, sending in paid military mercenaries. It's not working no more. So what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to use these missiles.
Hey, I got a quick point because the brother, stated what was the last war America has won? All right, as he stated, Vietnam. That was a long, drawn-out war. Really, nothing was accomplished. They didn't win. In the last one, most recent, big, long, drawn-out war of Afghanistan, and it says they got that term Afghanistan being the graveyard of empires. Right? It says the graveyard of empires is often associated with Afghanistan. It originates from the several historical examples of foreign powers having been unable to achieve military victory in Afghanistan in the modern period, including the British Empire, the Soviet Union, and most recently, the United States. So Afghanistan has been a graveyard of empires, as I said, unable to achieve a military victory. And America just, like say, with modern times, America was that one. So once they went in there, they ate. That's it for empires. All right, just back you up on that point.
Yeah. And going to us being students of history, we understand that we don't get tossed up in the who's and the ahs and the things we see with our eyes now, because imagine how it wasn't in ancient Persia. Imagine how it was in ancient Greeks. They thought their shit would never end. The Greeks would be the dominating force on the earth forever. And where is that now? It's not here. So so-called America, the same thing. you know. So it's a matter of time. It goes into well, if it was a book or not, but pretty much you go into the average length of empires is around 250 years. So-called America is at 247. You know, so you know the sands of time are not in America's favor. You know, so they have to do something big. You know, something big has to change. There has to be a big change. You know, because the momentum that's happening is falling into these nations' favor. You know, this country is literally fumbling its rulership. You know, look at the morale. You know, look at people's mindsets. What are they into? You know, what they talk about. You know, that grit. You know, the so-called American patriotism is nowhere, man. You know, and that's because you think about you go to China, everybody's on the same page over there. Iran, all these nations are all on the same page. So-called America's like, what do you know?
That's the thing, because all the other nations, you know, got a hatred for another country.
There you go. That's what unites them today.
And then see, that's why America had to pull that 9/11 to get people to want to go fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, going to those men, the strong men have born to fight, they gotta pull a false flag, you know. Because you gotta do something to crank the spirits of the patriots, you know what I'm saying, to defend the country.
When you look at our so-called president now, you know, a lot of, you know, the veterans and, you know, gun-toting Edomites, they're not rocking with that dude. You know, so why would they want to go fight for this dude? He's literally running the country to the ground. You know, they're embarrassed, you know, what's going on in this country.
Because you got Trump, they saying he's, even with all these criminal cases, he's still the front runner of the Republican class.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, so everything is set for, you know, division, you know, uproars, martial law, you know, everything is set for prophecy to come into fulfillment. So everything that we're witnessing, this is all the Lord's will, you know. It's perfect for what the prophet is looking for. You know, you really got something? Are you gonna finish this?
Yeah, finish that and then what else?
Luke chapter 14, verse 29. I'll read 28 again. For which of you intended to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Yeah, because that goes into strategy, war strategy. You know, before you can put things in motion, you have to have a plan. You know, it's not Call of Duty, just load the damn game up and you got a loadout, you just go out and start shooting. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, especially when you're dealing with large bodies of land, large bodies of resources and people, you know, and energy. It requires strategy. You know, so again, going to building, you know, anything, of course, you know, requires strategic, you know, unification of what the goal in mind is. You know, so building a tower is specific. If you're trying to build a tower and dude's talking about building a bridge, it's not gonna work. You know, so keep reading.
And I go back to that order of Chaos. You know, Esau knows exactly what he's doing. People gotta understand war is big. You got a whole pretty much mobile airport in the middle of the ocean. You know, going into those aircraft carriers that can reach, you know, different parts of the world to drop bombs. You know, so they already counted this cost. You know, they understand what's going on. That's what this is, you know, wanted to. Verse 29, this happily after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000, or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an embassage and desire conditions of peace.
Yeah. So again, going to the point that, you know, when these nations are sitting together, you know, not the stuff you see on TV, you know, because you got puppets, you have actors, paid actors. A lot of these people, you know, you see on the TV, they're literally what they call them, you know, news reporters. You know, they're pretty much failed actors. You know, I think that's how they call them. They call them failed actors because it's just a show. You know, a lot of the media we see is all controlled by who? You know, it's controlled by the enemy. You know, a lot of you know, CNN's, Fox is all controlled by the CIA or the FBI. You know, so then going to the point of what real war is, you know, men of war that sit around. You got generals, you got colonels, commanders. You know, they're considering how can we overcome. They have an issue. The obvious issue is what's going on in the Middle East. You know, how they gonna overcome. You know, that's just one front. You got here so-called America. It's another front. How can we control these people? How can we get them in subjection? How can we get our agenda pushed across to them? And that Esau gonna resort to his nature, is the sword. He has to bring fear on the earth. There's not enough fear. People don't fear so-called America no more. You know, people don't fear this devil's rulership and power. They don't fear the beast, you know, because that's ultimately how this devil came into power, is by fear tactics. Think about what he did. It says in Revelation about that miracle. This dude called fire from heaven, you know, to rain down, you know, upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was unheard of, and that's what put everybody in fear. Oh, we gonna leave him alone, you know. So what has to happen is has to be some kind of event that's gonna scare everybody. It might be a pocket nuke, you know, some blackout, something, you know, because there's not enough fear. The swing is not in this place's favor. The economic situation is horrible. America has nothing going. Okay, the only thing it can do is going to the point of using deception, you know, because that's what going to the art of war. That book is all about deception, deceiving, you know, misleading, you know, because this is what the devil's good at, you know. He has your attention diverted to what really the issue is, you know, because he doesn't want to be placed blame. So what's gonna happen? He's gonna place blame on somebody else, you know. That's why he got, you know, over there Hamas and all this other stuff, you know. Eventually, he's gonna come down into us, you know, because you know we're the Israelites, you know. Those are apostles over there. Somehow we're connected to those people. We're gonna be hated even more, you know. Oh y'all, you know, because then you got Jake around, you know, Falklands Earth going off, non-sound doctrine and militarizing themselves. You know, it's all a show. You know, it's just wars, racket. You know, there's all this confusion. So you know, going to the point of that's why going to Matthew 24th chapter, Yahweh said there's going to be many deceivers. You know, a lot of people lying to you, a lot of people moving in their own and destructive and evil ways. You have to be able to see through the lines, and that's why we have the book. You know, so again, going to the point of the third world, whoever has that, and whoever's got it, the third world coming quickly, because this war is going to be very, very fast and very brutal. You know, World War III, you can already say it's already in place. You know, it's not official. You know, of course, hey, everybody in World War III, that's going to cause mass chaos and panic. They want order because you niggas not going to be spending your money. You know, you're not going to be able to make him money. You know, you're not going to be able to be taxed. You know, so that's where he'll keep you on a need-to-know basis, but you know, still distracting you with entertainment. You know, stuff gets too crazy in the Middle East, because now no one's talking about Ukraine no more. That was a failed campaign. It was completely botched. You know, but they're still throwing money over there. You know, and then now you got the distraction over the Middle East. You know, Russia is completely taking over the area. You know, and they have the right to do so. They need to speak Russian over there. You know, it is good old so-called America. And you know, you wonder why is America being so heavy over there? Because you know, we go into the history. Them Khazars, man. You know, that region over there. You know, going to them converts. You know, there's Israeli people. There's a large Jewish community over there. You know, so you know why they being backed up so heavily? Because well, they got brothers over there. You know, and again, it makes all sense. That's why you have to understand the scriptures. You have to understand. You know, because you say everything's black, white, it's confusing. You know, you have to understand who your enemy is and what he's after and what he wants. He wants total control. You know, so this ultimately what's going to happen is things are going to get to a point where this devil is going to run away. All right, so he's going to run and hide from the wrath of the Lord, because his plan in his mind is going how it's supposed to go. What's the dude that wrote that book? Albert Pike. You know, with the third woe is going to be what? The Judaism versus the Muslim world. You know, and that's exactly what's happening. That's what they're using to start this World War III.
Well, to back you up, that's why the book of Psalms, it says that in the inward heart of every one of them, being these elites, is what very deep, because they actually don't. The book of Psalms, to back you up, brother, the 10th chapter says they will never see adversity. They will never be moved. So all they see is progress. All they see is rising out of the phoenix. The phoenix rising out of the ashes. You know what I mean? So they don't see themselves losing. That's why their military is the way it is. It's so broad, but hey, the same way the Roman Empire fell, expanded itself too far. So where now you've been enclosed. Everybody got missiles now. You know, but to back you up, brother.
Yeah, I will got that third woe.
I got it. This is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
The second woe was World War II, you know, which passed, you know, and you go into the history of that, you know, because that's written in the scriptures a little bit more detail, you know, woe, the word, first woe and second woe, and you know, you go into the angels, you know, the angels are the one, you know, that's pretty much speaking of these things that come to pass, you know, so going to ultimately the Lord's in control the whole time, you know, so the third woe coming quickly, you know, mean the build up, you know, it might be stretched out, but going to the time of when actually fully fledged, it's gonna be very quick. So I talked about this place, Revelation 18 chapter being out in 1 hour. You know, how's that gonna be done? This great, marvelous, very vast, so America is a very big place. You know, to drive out of the state of Florida will take you hours, you know, alone. That's just one state. You know, so again, going to this war coming quickly is because the destruction isn't happening so quickly, you know.
Going back to what Putin said, you know, his missile go out of space and can land anywhere on the earth in 30 minutes. You know,
Yeah. So there's never gonna be no talks of peace because the Lord never said peace for this place in this time, you know? Because again, this is all going into Esau is the end of the world. You know, this is the end of the world. This is we're watching witnesses, and this is all in the scriptures. You know, so again, that third world coming quickly. Again, this is what is going over people's heads. You know, which it's going into the Lord, His return coming as a thief in the night. You know, you still because going to so-called America, this is that place that dwells carelessly. You know, the whole world is preparing for war while you so-called Americans are in La La Land. You know, because this is what happens. Come to build. Think about ancient Babylon. You know, ancient Babylon was in La La Land. They had, you know, going to what Daniel's 5th chapter, Belshazzar, you know, which he was in place, you know, for his father.
Yeah, it's probably.
You know, he was a co-ruler, you know, and which Belshazzar was Lord Nebuchadnezzar's nephew, something like that. Grandson. There you go. You know, but they were what? They were mad comfortable. They were throwing a feast, and at that same time they're having a feast, they were literally getting overcome. There was a setup, you know, and overnight that place, that great kingdom was taken out, you know.
Yeah, that's heavy. So like quick point, because like brothers is expounding on that type of mentality that those wicked heathens was in is the same mentality that Esau's in now. You know, that's why the scriptures say that pride has deceived thee, because they don't see no end. Like the priest Quan was just going into, they don't see no end. They're talking about 2030 agendas. They're talking about their God now. Okay, if the God flooded the earth, they're boasting. You know, the scriptures in 2 Thessalonians, it talks about, they say that they sit up in the temple as if they're the most high. Okay, I believe also in the book of Habakkuk, okay, they say, who shall bring us down? You know, they in a very proud spirit because they know that they're navigating the whole earth. The scriptures say that the world was given into the hands of the wicked, which we know that pertaining to Job 9:24, who the wicked to be. Malachi 1:4 tell you that. Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man, the elite bankers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and so forth. Those that's navigating the whole earth. Okay, Maya Amshabal and his sons would set up the banking system. Okay, which Maya Amshabal changed his name to Rothschild. But the point being made is with the elites running the whole earth, they fund the wars. Okay, they influence both sides of the war. So this is why they don't see no end, because they are in full control of the earth. They're manipulating the peon minds to believe that, okay, yeah, it's war going on over here, but look what they've been doing. They've been slipping in their agenda, right? The CBDC system, okay? They're slowly but surely trying to execute, all right, enforcing the MOTB and having the earth under total control. Okay?
Yeah, that's an important point to realize too, because that's why going to when the Lord returns, he says in the high ones are on high. Because going to the elites of this world, the hidden ones, you know, the wicked hidden ones, who would judge them? You know, they're so far ahead. You know, again going to, oh boy, what's the dude's name again? Apple Pike. You know, they had hundreds of years to prepare for this moment. You know, so you're just now figuring this out. You grab your hair and say, "Damn, what the fuck going on over there in the Middle East?" You know, they been knew about this was gonna happen. You know, they left hand side prophesied about this. You know, that's why they're so comfortable. You know, because everything is going according to schedule, according to this devil. You know, as far as his mindset goes, that's why he's so proud. Pride he's full of so much pride he can't even imagine. And that pride has been one of the parts of the maker. That's why he's known as the godless man. You know,
and the most subtle beasts of the field. You know, it's that same spirit. Going back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. You know, practicing divination, witchcraft. They're the left hand prophets because they are able to predict the future because they designed the future. They in control. Okay? But they designed the future ultimately to the will of our Heavenly Father, and that's what they fail to realize. Okay, they think that they the ones who set themselves back up in power, going into the Renaissance era. This is why they was giving reverence to Osiris. Okay, going into the Renaissance era, this is why they was giving a reverence to Osiris, because Osiris is what? The rebirth god. Okay, which Renaissance goes into what? The rebirth. Rebirth of what? Rebirth of the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for fulfilling Revelation 20, loose for a little season. That's
Mhm.
all he's doing is fulfilling prophecy. That's why the scriptures say the deceiver and the deceiver is his. Like
Right.
nobody got an upper hand on prophecy. All right, like you are coming into your lot to fulfill. That's the priest Michael Allah is going into this third world war. That's prophecy. That's what's happening. And the multitudes gathered together in the valley of Yahushua. This is all Joel 3. This is all Isaiah 34. Come ye near, ye nations in here. All right, like bro, nobody's is outside of prophecy. And meanwhile, the third world's being brewed up. This MOT making a stream for you ducks out there. It's not paying attention, man. You see, because now all you goofballs who've been, as a brother always say, who've been tapping in and leaning on the hand of him that smote you, you get ready to lose everything and be uncomfortable. All right, you see, and if you don't have this device, you ain't gonna be functionable in the society that's coming, man. But see, the elect already detached from this place, man. You see.
Yeah, because the war is just the ushering in of what they really want to do. And that's why you have to talk about the MOTB before really you talk about WW3, because was going to it. All wars are bankers' wars. So what are they really fighting for? They're fighting for the financial system, because that's how the devil stays in power, by his money. So here it is. They're saying they're saying already now with however much gas is a barrel. At $100 they say it's gonna go to $200 because of all the stuff that's going on over there. So that's going to the financial system crashing. The value of the dollar going down. You got the BRICS nations. You got these nations moving away from this financial system now because it's about to change. And then really the thing you see now is the jack in the position who's going to be the highest seat. When this what they call it, global reset happens.
And that's why China, to back you up real quick, brothers got it. That's why China, they have they're showing, they're boasting in their technology. They have the facial recognition. They have the smart cities. They're already in this lead to be the next world dominant person here on this chessboard. You see, all right. But the whole time, the Lord is Proverbs 21. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. The Lord is just guiding all these kings to think that they're going to have the upper room advantage, if you will. All right, but the whole time you're actually fulfilling prophecy. You're getting ready to be in the valley of Yahushua, where the ultimate decision is going to be made, and Yahushua going to crack the sky, and the elect going to be saved. All right, and true power, true dominance is going to come. Michael, the 4th chapter.
Yep. Real quick, I just want to grab this precept to highlight a point that the brother made. This is Job 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined and the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And those bounds can be elaborated on various different aspects, but the point being made is prophecy, man. You can't offset prophecy, man. His bounds is set up for him to rule for a certain period amount of time, like all ancient empires was, and the Lord had it prophetically designed for specific times for these empires to fall, and we're seeing the end of the heathen rulership unraveling right in front of us, man, because the Lord had it set up by design. The end of Esau kingdom shall be the beginning of Jacob that followeth. Are we not seeing Esau kingdom, the so-called white man kingdom, breaking down? Okay, the dollar that had global dominance, the whore that was exalted above all kingdoms. Are we not seeing it being brought at a base level? Look, like it says in Isaiah 47 chapter, man. Come sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Right? Esau is sitting in that dust right now, that confusion, that dizziness that he polluted the earth with. He's confused, he drunk off his own juice. And while he's drunk off his own juice, he's prideful because he think he's still in that rulership power. He think that he still has that ability to get things to go the way he wanted to go. But ultimately it's going the way the Lord designed it to go, man. So the Lord has set up those boundaries that you cannot pass. You can't offset prophecy. You can't get to 2090. You think you're going to be ruling that long? You got to be out of your mind. And then Moab will filthy ass think they next. It's impossible. So,
It's Isaiah 13:17 says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against him. All right, and that's the Russians, man. And it's no coincidence. As the brother's going to, prophetically speaking, Russia has more advanced missiles than any nation on the planet Earth. Okay, and that's the exact instrument, if you will, that the Most High is going to use to come up against Babylon the Great. All right, Russia is has been basically checkmating America in the Middle East. All these different wars they try to start. What I remember it was Ukraine, Crimea, Syria, even down in South America, where at Venezuela. All right, because basically Russia was like, yeah, our we got a contract with Venezuela, basically some routine maintenance we got to do down in Venezuela. I forgot exactly what it was, but they said under guidelines of routine maintenance. So they was able to send military down in Venezuela those few years back when America was trying to set up Guaido, that false president.
Yep.
Russia was like, hold on, we according to contract, we got some routine maintenance we got to do down there. Send military down there. You try to take over Syria, Russia starts sending them S-300s over there. All right, so just on each level, you can clearly see how the Lord is raised up, as it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them." The Lord has clearly stirred up the Russians against America, man. And it ain't nothing you could do about it. You being checkmate. That's why you're gonna get real desperate to the point where you're gonna get thoroughly burned with fire, man.
That's heavy.
You're gonna cross the line,
You know what? That's heavy because that's speaking of Ezekiel the 37th chapter.
38.
Okay, 38, Salakia. The Lord hooking the jaws of that bear, and that's also Revelation the 13th chapter. Okay, the bear, Russia, all right, being the end of the Edomite rulership, pulling this beast down, man. All right, and the heavy part about it is because these Russians are Edomites as well. Okay,
Exactly.
but the scriptures tell you that Satan shall be divided amongst Satan.
Exactly.
How can his kingdom stand? The Lord has got these devils so much in a trick bag that he got them destroying themselves. He's the ultimate chess player, man. We talking about the grandmaster of grandmasters. How he got the same army against each other, crashing heads.
Yeah.
The same beast, the same devil. If that's not perfection and skill, I don't know what is. He's a perfectionist. That's real chess, man. That's mate.
Yeah, I got a word real quick. A standoff. That's pretty much what these two nations are at right now, so-called America and Russia. It says a standoff is a situation in which neither of two opposing groups or forces will make a move until the other one does something. So nothing can happen until one of them gives way.
They're going to these proxy wars. That's why they have those proxy wars. We all know both powerful sides. All the way going back to Operation Manhattan, Operation Paperclip.
Yep.
Y'all both got these weapons, and y'all both have interest in the Middle East, Asia. What the new term Asia Minor. Y'all both have interest there. Going to those pipelines and going to the Fertile Crescent. So
Right on the head, brother.
go ahead, bro. Yeah.
No, you're right on the head, bro. That's really what this is all about. All right, trying to get control over the resources in the Middle East, primarily. The last stronghold is Iran.
Wow.
Once they overtake Iran, whoever takes Iran controls the Middle East.
And I add to you real quick, Bo Bouchard. When we look at it now, Afghanistan is right next to Iran, so that just was this so-called strategic war that didn't pan out how they wanted it to pan out. So because they can't really get into that land, they just attack it all around and try to break it down. How like Brother Gordon said, that's the Lord. He's the man of war. He's orchestrating all of this. So he's gonna gather these nations
I got you.
right there where they're supposed to be at.
Yep. Quick precept. Joel 3:2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people
Yeah,
and for my heritage Israel.
yeah, because the love of the love of money is the root of all evil. You know what I'm saying? So that money going to that power, that resource, ultimately that land, and they, you know what I'm saying? Because Esau really on the whole, this shit is way bigger than the physical.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They high level warlocks. You know, and they understand out of that land that's a high point.
Damn.
So they think the Most High will deal with them for right there. You know,
controls that seat. That's the seat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know?
they fighting over their blessing.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They fighting over, because remember, going back into their forefather Esau, he got blessed with what? The sword and the fatness of the earth. Okay? They're fighting over their blessing. And they always been like that though. And that's a curse that the Lord had put on the sea, on the serpent, man. Okay? You never gonna get to where you want to be at, man. The Lord has always had it set up, like it says in Malachi 1:4, that where you build, the Lord is gonna take down. You're never gonna be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And that show you how much of a high altitude this world is designed on the dynamics of chess, because they're playing chess with the average level mortals. You get what I'm saying? They're playing chess. They got Jake believing that they votes count. Okay? when they got Bohemian Groves and Davos means that, you know, they dictating control over the earth. They already got a design who's gonna be in office. But Jake's so dizzy and caught up in this in it's a delusional state, the dizziness, that they thinking that they votes, they go into the office, they think they votes count. But this is E playing chess with them. So now here it is. E got the war set up. They controlling both sides of the war. Okay, it's propaganda. They depopulating, doing all of the madness that they want to do behind the scenes, and still pushing forth their agenda that they feel like they're going to accomplish. But they forgot the ultimate chess player. They forgot that he is in full control. That's why I said that pride has deceived you. You thinking more highly of yourself than you actually are. I created you, nigga. That's all he is, a right nigga.
Yeah, 'cause that goes into you know what Brucey talked about it, the art of fighting without fighting. You know, because that's again the point is you want to take as least casualties as possible, you know, especially when going to war. You know, so again, what these devils have done is they make you fight against each other. You know, and not realizing who the real enemy is. So that's why the point now of him being revealed, that's the real issue. You know, because what is happening, everything is according to his plan on the earthly side of it. You know, but as far as him being revealed, him being exposed, who he is, we're calling him Esau. That's what really pushes buttons. Because why? Because now he's seen that takes away his strength. You know, now we know what you're doing. You know, we can see past all the facade and all the games and tricks you're doing because we know what you want. You know, what do you want? You want to take control of the earth, man. You want to chip everybody. You want, you know, that land that's that snare in the Middle East. You know.
Yeah.
Finish
Kind of
what we
finish
got,
it.
because what the brother's reading right there is basically you disarm your enemy. You know, and this is just the Lord just going to disarm all nations on a large scale. He calling all their militaries into the Middle East. So what the Lord, because you know, as we've been going into, we're gonna take over the planet Earth. You know, when the Lord returns to beam us up in the midst of those missiles being shot, we're gonna come down and take over the whole planet Earth. So what the Lord is doing is disarming the enemy, man. Because majority of military men are gonna be completely obliterated over in the Middle East. And elect is gonna come down and just conquer what's left, man. You know.
Joel 3:2, it says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, all right, down in the Middle East, all right, which is the Most High's judgment, all right. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
And that's where, yeah, exactly. That's where everybody forgot about. You know, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man, woman, child. You know, they just all the stuff going on the earth. Free Palestine, free this nigga, free that nigga. You know, but what about us? You know, they don't see nobody else on this earth. You know, for the controversy of Zion. All right, find our cause. We don't have no representation in the EU, United Nations, none of that shit. You know, so all this stuff that's going on is because the Lord's angry. You know, he's angry at the heathen. He says, you know, woe to the heathen that are at ease. You know, because your mindset is that, you know, you don't care about what happened unto us, so-called Negro, Latino, Native man, us going to slavery, captivity, still in captivity, you know, and no one has a problem with that, you know, but the Lord does, you know. So again, the Lord didn't forget what happened unto us, and that's him pleading our cause. You know, he's doing this for our sake, you know, all this stuff going on and around the world because the Lord's fighting for us. They said, we say, we have not been forsaken of our God, man.
That's right.
You know?
Yep. The controversy of Zion, like the scriptures talks about. You know, the Lord, the scriptures, like the priest just stated, the Lord has created the smith that bloweth the coals, man. Okay, he had put that knowledge and that information into the Robert Oppenheimers. Okay, these German scientists to create this technology. Okay, for their own destruction. Okay, that shows you how how deep this life is, man. You know, the deceiver and the deceived is his. The scriptures tell you that, man. Okay, and how we know our power truly exists is because of his judgment. He's showing us he truly exists. He's showing the world he truly exists, and that's going to be fully illustrated in the times that we're coming into. Okay, see, they looking at the chessboard, the 64 squares, but thinking that it's only 64 squares, but they forgot it's really 60. It's a 65th square, which is the board that governs the whole world. You get what I'm saying? So these devils don't have a clue what's going on because their pride has deceived them. These niggas is dizzy. They done drunk. They done got high off their own supply.
Like terribleness had deceived you.
Yeah.
You got one on that?
Nice.
Kind of back in Isaiah 13:17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, but shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
So there you go. So the point is going to be enough is enough. So getting to the point of being a standoff, it's not going to be a standoff no more. You know, no more sending people in, no more proxies. It's going to be mano y mano, head forehead against forehead. You know, and that's what they don't want. But that's what the Lord wants. You know, in their minds, they don't want this to escalate because they only know what's going to be left is all their cards being played out. What's going to be left? Oh shit, I got nuclear missiles. You know, and going to Esau's pride, he don't want to lose. He gets to this point now where he has everything under his feet. He's gonna lose it because of whoever, you know. Now he's gonna play not fair. He still don't play fair, you know. And he gonna use one thing he don't want to use is missiles, because we say the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So the Medes getting stirred up. I mean, they're getting the point is enough is enough. Evidence. I don't care no more. That mind is already on Putin right now. You know, he don't care. There is no world without Russia. Nigga said that himself. You know. So what does that mean? You want to play with somebody like that? No, because they have nothing to lose, and that's the worst enemy you want to face is an enemy that has nothing to lose, you know. And then they forgot about us. That's the whole point, you know. But us, it's like
It says, "And their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces." All right, you want to get on a small scale, the guns, but you know, on a large scale, the ultimately the missiles, man. It says, "And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children," because you got to understand, when America dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they didn't care that it was little children. Still iconic photos of a little girl basically running down the street, and it looked like she got rags hanging from her arms and her hands, and that's literally her flesh hanging off of her. When you drop those bombs on you made the fire come down from heaven, right? You didn't care that it was little children, babies, you know, women, pregnant women. You didn't care. You dropped those bombs on those cities without a care in the world. So the scriptures say, "As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head." All right, so you're gonna be rewarded with that same judgment. You know.
yeah, because that's what that whole thing was about. It was that technology he was using was an experiment.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. He had, you know, he watched the Oppenheimer movie. You know, it was all hypothetical. They didn't really know how serious it was, you know, and they didn't care about the repercussions because you went to a bomb, it doesn't have no moral judgment. It just blows up. You know, here there's a man with a gun, he could say, "Damn, that's a child, I ain't gonna." We got that because army men supposed to live by a code, you know. But once again, fighting these missiles, there's no moral code to it because you're just pressing buttons, you know.
Because after he dropped the first one, a little bit after that, he dropped another one. On this Esau Edom,
Yeah.
you know, and like going back to Renner telling him, as he had done, you know, going to the Medes, you know, they didn't do that to the ancient Babylonians, you know. So that's going into these modern day times, man. You know, who is Babylon now? Who is the Medes now? See, I was written twofold out of Apostle Ramla. Was going into the Most High. He moved all these different nations into these different areas, setting them up for end time prophecy, man. But only the prophets can receive who these nations are and where they're, you know, strategically located at the moment.
Just got a couple more verses on this. Isaiah 13:18. "Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. In Babylon, aka America, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And as the brother Barak expounded on, ancient Babylon didn't go out, all right, as Sodom and Gomorrah did. You know, there's no account of that. The fire and brimstone completely destroying ancient Babylon, all right, and burning it up. There's no account on that. All right, so this is a future prophecy talking about the modern day Babylon, which is America. All right, it says, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? All right, literally the Most High, rained down fire and brimstone to the point it looked like missiles, just hitting it. Okay, so this division, when the scriptures speak about the vision the prophet saw, all right, they saw America being destroyed, man. All right, so here it is, you know, in 2023, we're reading these prophecies, and we have the understanding of them, and we understand that this didn't happen in ancient Babylon. All right, ancient Babylon, the Middle East, they're not in, they're not in rulership. They you know, they're not pumping.
Yeah.
You know, this is that Babylon that the Most High was talking about. You know,
the ancient Babylon, going into the history and the scriptures as well, the circular history, it was a hostile takeover. It was, I said, when Darius the Mede took the kingdom, okay, obviously under the order of Cyrus, okay, this is when the Medo and Persian Empire, you know, took over. But going into that prophecy of Babylon, all right, it speaks about it being desolate. It's going to be utterly destroyed. It shall not be inhabited.
exactly.
Okay, the scriptures talk about that. All right, that land, when you go and look at that region, man, it's still people there. It's not just completely deserted. So that's showing you the facts of the reality of the prophecy, showing you that, okay, it cannot be speaking about this. Okay?
Three more verses. It says, it shall never be inhabited, as the brother just stated.
And why did the Lord judge Sodom and Gomorrah with David cities? Because wickedness, man. Dudes, flamers, you know, that's where they got fired. You know, so how much more so-called America? You know,
Burn their lust,
Burn their
to
lust.
whatever their lust was. They just, you know, overwhelmed them to the point they didn't feel the Lord. And it said, and they're gonna be at Sodom and Gomorrah. When Abraham walked out the next day, said he seen the smoke come from Sodom and Gomorrah. You read Revelation 18, you know, same thing.
and that was, you know, going to the Lord's judgment. That was a miraculous fashion of the Lord's judgment. Like, you seen fire and brimstone come from the heavens to judge the city. You know, that was never seen before.
Right.
You know, no one ever seen no destruction like that. You know, I'm sure that was buzzing for a long time, and it still is today. That's why we read about it. You know, what happened to them wicked cities because of what they were doing. You know, and going to deliverance of it, you got to talk about Lot. You know, we're in the same situation. You know, Yahweh even talked about a righteous Lot. You know, and then these last days. You know, so the same thing in this time with these missiles. People say, I ain't gonna use no. People might believe there's not even no nuclear missiles. They just think it's just a joke or a bluff. You know, like it's never gonna be used or something.
It's just something you just see on TV. You know, you hear about it, but they don't know the size of these bitches. You know what I'm saying? They not thinking about the power, you know, that the Lord
You got a nigga right now on the computer.
All that shit.
You know, and even but you know, really them dudes working on them damn missiles. You know, they're updating the software on the GPS. You talking about, you know, nuclear missiles. Nigga looking up that bitch right now with a warhead on top. You know,
Yeah. That show you, like Second Thessalonians tells you that for not receiving the love of the truth,
Right.
they shall be under a strong delusion. Man. For you to believe that it ain't no nukes,
Right.
you gotta be delusional than a motherfucker.
But then you crazy if you actually bring that out. If you say that to Jay, you have a conversation with Jay, you look crazy as hell, dog.
but niggas believe in mermaids and
Yeah.
but they don't believe in no missiles.
You like, bro, this shit is really happening, bro. Articles everywhere, all the shit, you know?
Every day. Right.
And Salaki, just to add to the point that brother had brought out in regards to the account of Sodom and Gomorrah, it's archaeological evidence shown that kind of blast that disintegrated those human beings in that land, okay, not only they was discovered and they was blown away from their waist, okay? But the type of destruction, all right, that they discovered, all right, they compared the blast, the sulfur, they compared it to a nuclear blast, atomic bomb site, and it was identical. So that shows you that technology the Lord had back then, okay, that he gave to these Esau recently. You get what I'm saying? So that shows you that, and that how long that account happened. You know? With that being said, that shows you the correlation of how the Lord plans on destroying this Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, because if it was destroyed back then with that nuclear capability, what about now with how, because atomic bomb has nothing to do, it's weak compared to the technology now.
You can imagine when the destruction came, because we're talking about the older side of Sodom and Gomorrah. Imagine people screaming, you know, yelling, getting burnt alive. You know, that's the same thing out there in so-called America. You know, this is that plague. You know, people's eyes melting in their sockets. You know, tongue melting in their mouth. You know, this is literally what's happening in so-called America, and that's going to be seen throughout the four corners of Europe. That's right. Again, going back to Revelation 18 chapter. You know, people going to look afar off and see the smoke over burning. You know, the Lord's going to make a great example of so-called America, and that's why He likened it on to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Quick precept, Bob Bouchon. Matthew 10:14. And whosoever should not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it should be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
Woo! So that show you that Sodom and Gomorrah would have had the lesser damage that the Lord is going to do on this one. It shows you, because if it was identical to an atomic blast, okay, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was identical to an atomic blast. Those that know, which we are a part of, those that know community, know that these nuclear missiles that Russia got, all right, the Satan 1, Satan 2, okay, all these different weapons, these nuclear weapons are way worse than that atomic bomb. So that's why that's a heavy point, because the Lord has shown you the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The scriptures tell you that, man.
You know, and that's and a lot of people they see it in their eyes that this will never happen because that's the unimaginable. Like it's no way that they would do this. America's a great continent. It's no way that they will literally destroy a whole country. There's no way that they will even think to even shoot those missiles off because the destruction will be so devastating. So in the average person's eyes, that's the unimaginable. They don't see that happening. They don't see that taking place. But that's why we fear the Lord. We read the scriptures and we believe like this place is gonna be hit with missiles, man. We're not sitting here doing these lessons and seeking, you know, to be pardoned for this for nothing. All right, that's why we're here. That's why we're here to warn you. So you know you can escape that, man. Because when those missiles hit, it's no running. It's no running from that, man.
That's right.
That fire is gonna come and it's gonna touch you in a way that you never been touched before. Seriously, it's gonna touch you. It's gonna be something that you never felt before, and it's gonna be unbearable, bro. It's gonna be unbearable judgment, unbearable pain to the point where, you know, because when you go into Yahushua asking people to forsake all and follow me, you're gonna be willing in that day when those missiles are coming, you're gonna be willing to give up everything to escape that judgment. So that's why you got to do it now, because we see it. We already see the missiles coming now. So that's why we willing to do that now, bro. Because when they land, and they do hurt, he said, John said, and they do hurt, and he wasn't even there. So imagine what he was seeing. He was terrified.
That hurt.
Yeah, he was terrified, bro. But you got it out. I just got 2 more precepts.
Wow.
I'm gonna finish this off. It says, see that they gonna learn to fear the Lord. Ultimately, but it's gonna be too late,
Yeah. If I can add, you know what it is? Because at that very moment right there, that's when true repentance.
Everybody gonna
You know,
repent in that.
yeah, everybody gonna want it too. Every knee shall bow. Yo, listen,
Except
they
the
gonna
leech. Let me.
kind,
The leech,
yup,
you say they repented not. The leech.
kind,
They not
kind.
gonna repent, but
Yup, yeah,
those
but they
that's
go-
getting touched.
they gonna wish they could. The jakes that get touched,
Yeah.
they gonna wish they could. Because the thing about this one that I realized too, and brothers can relate. Jake always want to be sorry when reality kicking in. when you face with reality, Jake the most apologetic they can ever be. When you deal with reality, see, you was playing around, like even those that end up getting caught up in a chain game. You playing around, you run around, spin a block. When you face with them football numbers, you face that time. Then here Jake go talking about some damn. I don't know why I was doing this. Damn, man, I should have changed my life. Yo, man, if I get freed, man, this is where the true repentance coming at. When you face with reality, and it's gonna be too late. They shall seek me, but shall not find me. You're gonna be looking for mercy, but nah.
Eyes wide open, mouth wide open. Calling on the Most High with the highest intent, howling. What? Your ass gonna just get thoroughly washed.
That's right.
He gonna thoroughly cleanse you with that cleansing agent, that fire. He gonna dissolve. He gonna literally dissolve you, man.
Yeah, that full of soap.
Hey, bro, you gotta close out with that one, dog. You got. Let me finish this real quick, bro. You gotta close out with that one, man. Let me get this. Isaiah 13. Let me finish this. It says that it shall never be inhabited. It's talking about America. Neither shall it dwell there from generation to generation. Neither shall Arabian pitch tent there. Ishmael ain't. That's it. Neither shall their shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there. You go, Isaiah. No, I think John spoke about this, but Isaiah
34, I think so.
Okay, yeah, but he going into it. Isaiah goes into details. It says, "But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of dull creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there." This is the point. "And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near. Her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged." That's it. Her days, their time is near. Her days shall not be prolonged. So this place is gonna be thoroughly cleansed, man, with fire, man. And now is the time to repent, because once the judgment hit, you gotta understand, right, how the Most High works. Once He already declared the judgment, and it just get to rolling, within that period, it's a short window. But once it's already sent, you can plead, you can beg, but once that judge hit that, that's it, man. It's no more reasoning after that.
Like the days of Noah, like it says in Luke the 17th chapter. Thinking about that account. Remember, the Lord sealed them doors.
Yeah.
The Lord sealed them doors. So that's just backing you up. That's the point, man.
Seal their fingers.
Think about it. The scripture speak about in thy time of visitation. So everybody got a different time, man. Lord pull up on you. When He pull up on you, you examined, you weighed in the balance. That's what it is. You sealed off. It's either you're gonna be sealed for the election or destruction. That's right. It ain't that everybody got to this certain date. No, of course we preach repentance, but hey, the Lord got cutoff points for people, man. People had their time to repent. Some people heard about the truth years ago, and some people go hear about it for the first time tomorrow. There's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 17. Ezekiel 22 and 17. "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross, and they all are
Filth. All right. So 2/3 of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, have become filth in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. All right, and the cleansing, the washing of by the word is here, but 2:30 you just too far gone. So you become dross in the sight of Yahweh Shimi Al Shai. Go ahead.
All they are brass and tin and iron
And those aren't precious metals. All right. When you go into Solomon, Solomon had gold laid up on this, gold laid up on that. Tin, iron, lead. Those are inferior. A lot of inferior metals, man. The kingdom, true wealthy king, we won't have those. And those iron and shit. That's what you make chains for slaves for. Wrap a yoke of iron around their neck. That's the chains they wear. Iron, those cheap metals. So that's what you are in the sight of Yahweh Shimi Al Shai, man. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. In the midst of the furnace, they are even the dross of silver. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, because ye are all become dross. Behold, therefore I will gather you into the midst of Jerusalem, as they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace, to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you.
So that's literally, he gonna leave you here. You ain't getting beamed up. He gonna leave you here and melt you, man. And we gonna be, Lord willing, those men, we gonna be sitting looking like we gonna damn, he literally melting this dude. This dude literally getting melted. You gonna see his hair, cause before that wave hits you, all the soft shit, your eyes melting, your tongue consuming, your hair just gonna catch on fire. And in that moment, you gonna be howling and crying, man.
Ain't no just dying in your sleep. The Lord gonna make sure you know you messed up. This talks about in a time of adversity, there's a forgetfulness of prosperity. All the good times we had, the energy you put to chasing the bag and being somebody, whatever the hell you was doing on YouTube, showing your ass, doing pranks, whatever it is, you gonna have time to think. You gonna be like this while you melting. You gonna be because it says Ecclesiastes as well. And your remembrance gonna be kicking. You gonna remember all the bullshit you was doing, that guilty conscience. They say the light flash before your eyes. You gonna the Lord, because it says your sins and that day shall
Your accuser.
Your accuser, man. You're gonna have a very dirty, filthy conscience because you knew you wasn't doing right. Especially Jake, because Jake got a conscience. We just going to Israelites. You don't have a mindset like, damn, I messed up. I knew I was supposed to be doing something better with my life. You gonna all that time, because everything gonna be slow. It's gonna be slow motion. Because think about any kind of troublous time, everything seems to move real slow. It's like because that's your adrenaline going. You're at the point where you're about to die. Your body goes into fight or flight. Here it is, you're gonna be acknowledged that I'm about to die, So, and going to in your adversity, you gonna consider, and your prosperity, be joyful, that's for the same, but in a time of affliction, consider, to think, to ponder. You're gonna have a lot of time to think, because that moment might be literally a blink of an eye, but that's for the same. It's gonna be a blink of an eye, but it's gonna be real slow to you because why? Because the Lord's gonna make sure you knew that you denied Him while you was on earth, man.
That fire gonna forgive you.
Oh yeah, you gonna be
Most High gonna forgive you. Once he wash you thoroughly with that fire, then he gonna forgive you, man. He gonna forgive all your sins after that, man.
Full of soap. Full of soap. Spoke about Malachi the 3rd chapter. Yeah. Need a real thorough cleansing.
Going to the word don't cleanse you, which is Yahweh Shai, the no missile life.
That water.
Just be some system of destruction. Sweeper, you come in like a broom, vacuum, mushroom cloud.
And we speak by Yahweh Shai in Matthew the 3rd chapter. He will gather the wheat into his barn. He will thoroughly purge his floor. The floor with a chaff. So he will thoroughly purge it. You know what I mean? You go come back perfect.
Baptized.
Truly, what you would call a holy hell, man.
Child of God.
It's separate.
Real
This fire is just gonna separate everything because it's gonna be something separate you never felt before. Holy hell, man. It's
Yeah, because imagine the build up to it, because just talk about it's gonna be civil society, so to speak, for most parts of it. People gonna be buying, selling, because the MOTB system already made mandatory. And you're gonna hear about the chaos outside the walls. You got the green zone, you in there chilling. You heard about your uncle. He said, I ain't taking that shit, fuck that. He got left, he got clapped, all the stuff that's happening, the famines, the shortages of this, shortages of that. You think it's gonna get better, and then your heart gonna drop, you don't hear the missile sirens. Nigga Carter told you it's gonna clear up, it's getting better. We're gonna, things are icing out a little bit, we're gonna be able to leave the green zone, and you look up and the sky's full of missiles, man,
And they gonna run hard as they can.
Yep.
Fast
Go
as
nowhere.
I'm talking
Go nowhere.
they gonna put all the energy into
Me and the missile.
to run the dog. They gonna get caught.
Yep.
In the times of Noah.
Yep, I have this. That's a square. I got the scripture right here. This is Luke 17:26, and it says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
Yep. So a time of great complacency. That's where we are right now. The world's in a time of great complacency, especially here, so-called America, because again, not understanding the severity of the situation, that's what makes you comfortable. You don't really know how bad it really is right now, because it doesn't, unless, you have a spiritual eye, you can't really see. And there's so many other things still to distract you from the truth. You still got football going on, you still got all this shit going on, right? So going to your mind, you're not in a sober mindset because you're still distracted, and that goes into you're distracted from what? From the truth. The whole reason why you're on earth, you missed that point, You thought this was just a time to play around and fuck around and do what you want to do. Hey man, now is the time to meet your maker. You thought you had more time than you did, and that's the worst feeling, That's why, because you played around, you found out, man,
That shows you that they're gonna be in a deep sleep. The scriptures tell you that the Lord is coming like a thief in the night. Okay, when a thief comes, most likely it's either in a real deep sleep. They coming when the person, because thieves come through very late, unexpectedly. Or they come through when nobody not home. Okay? And when nobody not home, that's going into a Jake spirit just being gone, man. That's why the Lord said, what? When I come, shall I find faith on the earth? Because Jake's spirits is going to be so rotten and defiled in that time when he come. They're going to be fully deceived. They're going to be fully enchanted into wickedness, man. Caught up, look, drinking and marrying. Let me finish the description. It says, verse 27, it says, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them.
Business as usual, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Day of the Lord gonna be business as usual. Sun out, as the brother said, people buying and selling with their chip, business as usual.
That's it. And and those that's going to be in that mind frame and in that position in this society is those that's going to be destroyed. That's not going to be of the elect. Like Nate said, we're going to be la-di-dee, la-di-da into the kingdom. Nah. Speak for yourself. The elect ain't going to be in this kind of mind frame. The scripture is going to clear that up. I'm reading one more time. It says, verse 27, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Reality soaked in.
And there's a reason why I was using that example of Noah, because that was the first death.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That world, that whole current world was done away with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's using that example because this is a second death where global destruction. That's why the second death, a global death is coming. Man.
That's right. It says, and the flood came and destroyed them all. It says, likewise also it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they brought, they sold, they planted, they built. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
So you see that it went from the second death to a description. It's like it went from the first death, which was Noah, then it went to a description of the second death. Because that's what it's gonna be likened onto. Fire being shot
that's heavy.
from the heavens.
That's heavy.
So the Lord lined it up The way he lined it up there, that was beautiful.
Illustrated
Yeah, that's
law.
my first time seeing it like that.
That's a
The way
script.
he lined it up, that was
Yeah, that's
It's a prophecy. You know, he's likening on to his return. How can I liken my return to what happened on the earth for you, for you to relate to? You know, so first death was a mass extinction, Sodom and Gomorrah, fire and brimstone, mass extinction by fire. You know, that's what the Lord prophesied about.
Yep. So it says, verse 30, it says, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
So if you think nuclear missiles are scary, oh my God, man. A power that's coming that's not a man, you know, on what you even call a UFO,
who said he coming with fire too.
fire his chariots like a whirlwind, you know, that's even scarier. So it's gonna go from worse to worsest, you know. If we couldn't get any worse, yeah, you got a angry so-called black man with powers from the Heavenly Father, and demonstrating this, because you know you see the missiles and destruction. That's powerful. That's powerful. All right, who's gonna come in the midst of that? You know, because Yahushua is they going to the point of him, the nation on the earth trying to overcome him by fighting. That's another fight they got to worry about. It is a depleted. You know, whoever knows the timeline, it's gonna be very close window. How this all gonna tie together to the same. We know we see a glass half darkly. You know, but we know it's gonna come a point in time where Yahushua is gonna turn in the midst of all this. You know, because missiles shot our deliverance, and then they're gonna start fighting. You know, however it plays out, man. You know, but the point is, it's gonna go from worse to even. You know, already is an impossible situation. So now, guess what? Now you're gonna get conquered. You're already weakened. You know, and that's the point where Esau's gonna win. You know, he's gonna say, "Oh shit," you know, the people that's watching the stars and saying, "I told you, I seen this big old ship." I trained this dude at the gym. He's a pilot. He talking about, he see shit all the time. He don't report it because he said he don't want the men in black to come talk to him. So there's a lot of stuff going on that we don't see, but this devil sees, and he's gonna have to deal ultimately to make himself, because he said, didn't he say he was a god?
Yeah.
He said they ways have surpassed God.
Yeah, exactly. They can surpass you. All this prideful speaking. Hey, guess what? Now you gotta meet him. You gotta talk to him. What he say he gonna do? He say he gonna plead with all flesh. By what? Fire and brimstone. Sword.
What's that guy from the WEF, Noah Ryan? He said the God in the Bible is old news. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Yuval Harari, I think his name.
He was only able to make organic humans, organic tissue, but basically bragging about how he's able to merge men with machinery.
I bring it year-round fruit.
God stop it from raining. All right, cool.
Yep. He said the Messiah is a myth. Well, we gonna see, man. We gonna see.
And that's what we really waiting for.
That's right.
But that's pretty much the point. Those who get to find, as we talk about being watchers, watching, probably is always going to be the talk of the time, because why we're waiting for something, waiting for our Lord to return. So as we see these things happening on earth, and the Lord's still working, that means we got to work too. We're able to enter into that rest. This is part of that work too. Not just seeing the Lord's return. Of course, we know the Lord's return, but what? It's more than just that. You got to start digging a little deeper. You play Pan Israelites, man. You gotta dig a little deeper. All right, but with that, Lord's edifying. All praises to
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash.
the bonus to the elders and apostles of the most stone. Peace and blessings elect.
Oh.
Like real deal, bro. Like going into that judgment and describing it and seeing that shit. Like